Hey everybody, good morning. How are you? I was up late. I was up in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, I was tossing and turning because I felt the heat. I felt the heat in my body. My husband went out last night, or yesterday afternoon. He went fishing and then went to a bar to go celebrate somebody's birthday. He went right after fishing. I was here at home, so I don't really need to go to a bar, and I wish that person happy birthday. That's great. And so I know he probably brought home a few viruses, and yeah, he does. He smells like onions, which is no big deal. It's just that's just how shit works. So, anyways, hey honey, I see you. So, anyways, so I was up in the middle of the night. I was up in the middle of the night and I realized some stuff regarding the last couple weeks because um I've been studying people who worship the Bible. I study people who use the Bible who are in very aggressive recruitment type of religions. And I have no issue with that per se. I really don't. It's when the recruitment then starts bleeding into my world. And that's where I have the issue. And as soon as it's hard to really understand what people's intentions are until you get to really know the intentions. And it's difficult. It's so difficult. So so the last couple of weeks I've been just going head to head with a lot of different people who have glommed onto my information, who have used my information as a prop for their belief system. And so lately I've been going after the politics, religion, and science. Okay? And politics, religion, and science are all about deification. And deification means that you are worshiping something that you think is a higher power. Okay? And through deification, then is the intention to edify. Can edify is bringing up to a moral and intellectual standard. And it's all relative to what you want that moral and intellectual standard to be. And so it's not like that it means different things to different people. So in my world, moral and intellectual standard could be, academia and rising above politics, religion, and science, and um, promoting things that are not beauty driven, that are, yes, symmetry driven, but also brain driven, innovation driven. And so someone else could be like a moral and intellectual standard could be relative to their community. Okay, so everyone has different ideas of what that is, and it's different for each time. There are specific moral and intellectual standards, the edification of society back in the days of Sumer. So you had the caveman, the Neanderthals, and the humans all fighting each other. And then you have the new gods that came in and deified themselves, made themselves out to be like a god type because they had innovation, they had tools, they had techniques, they had new things that the cavemen and the humans and the Neanderthals were very impressed by. And so they deified themselves and then they edified. Who is that? The gods or the people with more information came down and edified and brought the the indigenous population that they came down and tried to innovate. They came down and edified them and tried to bring them up to a specific moral standard and intellectual standard based upon the needs of the gods at the time. And that's where government comes in. Okay, government is based upon the original gods that came in and organized and created then the six cradles of civilization. And so the deification, the advocation through deification is riff in politics, religion, and science. This is how the government's figured out how to bring people up to a certain level of standards. You see it right now in politics, religion, and science. Though the issue with the deification and edification is that when you martyrize someone like Jesus, someone like anyone that has been dead, when you martyrize them, then you have the complete uh, power to go and interpret what they say based upon your intentions. Because there are people that, yes, that have transcribed what Jesus may have said at the time. There are people who have transcribed what Moses may have said at the time. Only Moses knows if someone is interpreting what they're saying correctly. And he's not here to say, okay, that was exactly what I meant. Jesus is not here to say, oh, that's exactly what I meant. Anyone that's been martyred cannot go and defend what people are interpreting, what they said at the time. And so worshiping people who are dead is like worshiping those that have depicted how the people that are dead are characterized based upon current society and how they want society to evolve or devolve. Okay. And so that's what my issue in lately is been around the recruitment campaigns, the conversion campaigns. And then I look at myself and I looked at what I did in the past. I mean, when I went to that landmark education type of education back in the early 1990s, and I learned about their tools and techniques and to get past certain things of the past and to create a blank slate and then also start creating a future. I felt so enlightened. I felt like, so, oh my God, I just found the next best thing. And so then I was out proselytizing. I was trying to get my mom to do it. I was trying to get my dad to do it. Trying to get my sister to do it. I tried to get everyone around me to do it. I turned into like what you call a religious zealot because I found the word of something. Now, it wasn't the word of God because God wasn't in that, but it was a type of thing. The forum leader and all their tools and techniques were like a godlike thing because they took all the tools and technology and the quotes from like Jesus, Gandhi, all the different ontological sciences and put them all together. And all of a sudden you are like in this cathartic type of state and you are changing the way you look at things. You're changing your relationships. You're transforming your life. And now you want everyone else to transform their life too. And that is no different than those that are in the politics, religion, and science world. It's all religious based. You just want to, you can call it science, you can call it religion, and you can call it politics, religion, science. You call it whatever you want, but it's still all dogma. Okay, dogma is used as an authority, but it's not truly based on something that is substantial or substantiated. Okay, it's taking people's beliefs and taking people's perception of things and expounding on it. And so if you already have said in politics, religion, and science that you should die someday, then how you die is going to be the difference in politics, religion, and science. They're going to be like, oh, no, you die this way with cannabis. Oh, no, you die this way with chemotherapy. Oh, no, you die this way with vector. Oh, no, you die this way with Jesus or Moses and all that. And so then it's the anthropomorphism of statues, of martyrs of the past, of people of the past. It is the deification of those that have transformed society of the past, like you're seeing the statues of the old world, of all the different Spanish and English discoverers, explorers, and they're being pulled down, and now new statues are being put up, and they are of people of a different color, different race, different ideas that have been as of late within the 1960s, okay, civil rights, and which I have no problem with, but then is going to happen is a new religion is going to be formed from that. Then it's going to be idolatry, iconicism, it's going to be worship, it's going to be all the things that will then cause you to be intolerant of somebody else who doesn't think the same way. And so I see that was in me. And so the reason why I point out other people's foibles, because then I can see my own. And that's the thing is with religions, with old texts, is that people do loop in the past. They loop in the things that exhibit the same outcome, but then you are trying to dress up the intention to be different, but the outcome is still the same. There's still division, there's still groupthink. People are not autonomous, and then they are deifying something. Then they become easily exploitable. And so this is where the Sundays are for, that is to go to a church. And I know it's a type of edification in church because the pastor may have some kind of teachings of the day for his sermon, just like in Judaism. When I went to temple, there was the sermon at the end where the rabbi would talk about maybe certain politics around Judaism and how Judaism is how it how it's merging, or not merging, how it's being viewed in current society in the world of the Gentiles. Okay. And I remember a lot of the difference. I remember all the premise because some of the stuff was beyond me. It was some political stuff. But so when you get people under worship, under in school worship, a group think tank type of thing, then it's exploiting the minds to think a specific way. But it's also edifying people up to a certain level. But what is that level? Well, you look at society, you look at the deities in our society. It's all the people in Hollywood, all the people in politics and religion and the science deities. Okay, deities do not discriminate. They're anyone that the media puts forth, and they put so much um, uh, focus on that you can't help but either love or hate the deities they put out there. And so I realized I was put out there to be a type of satanic deity because, oh, I'm harming people with salt. And that's how they wanted me to be viewed by the public. And then those that are easily influenced by the media, by religion, by politics, by science, will then adopt whatever is spoon-fed to them based on how the media wants people to think. And so when you have a thing like good and evil, it's a way to say, okay, when the good person, whoever that is, relative to perspective, makes a mistake, they can blame it on the evil. They can blame it on Satan. They can blame it on a demon. They can blame it on the Democrats. And so that's why you have the two-party system. That's why you have the for and against, because one side will always blame the other, and you always have a scapegoat. Satan will always be a scapegoat. So will Jesus, because people think Jesus is Satan and Satan is Jesus. And so when you have that whole dichotomy of good and evil, there's always a scapegoat. And so that way, those that want to edify society and scale down certain people, they'll come off like, Jesus, but they're, the outcome is something completely the opposite if that's the paradigm you want to live within. And then people will happily destroy themselves. That's the whole anthropomorphism, whether it's using animals as symbolatry of good and evil, or you have icons of the past that were martyrs of the past, and you say, oh yeah, Jesus was good and Satan is evil. And who is Satan? It's like it's this God, this mythological God that mankind has used to control the masses. And so I realized now what the gods were. They were people that had extraordinary talents and had innovation from the past. Not from the past, sorry, from other planets. And they innovated our society, bioengineered us. And so I read an article about how Neanderthals were at war with the humans. They were actually evolving parallel to us, but they were a very different evolution. And they were like the Worf, like the Klingons. Like if I can bring it back to Gene Roddenberry, because Gene Roddenberry was very instrumental in understanding the differentiation between all the different species and how people view and how the species act. And so the Klingons were like the Neanderthals, very aggressive, very just very, very stubborn, very, and then you had like, Shatner and all the different other races that were not as aggressive. And so you can kind of see the characteristic difference between the species. Okay. And so the Neanderthals and the humans have been at war with each other. And I can kind of see now why it is we have this certain split in our society. Maybe the humans were more evolved, and they took out a lot of the Neanderthals. There's still Neanderthal DNA out there with people, but some have more of the Neanderthal characteristics than others. And so lately, I could see why there's that split. So I saw that there was that parallel, that Neanderthals and humans were evolving simultaneously parallel, but one one maybe wasn't as evolved or had different genetics than the other. And so you see that today. And I think this is why some people are very, very entrenched in their religion, because having to worship something that they think is more, that is higher power, that is taking responsibility off of them. Anything that good happens is not their own responsibility, it's someone else that did it. And I'm like, why would you give away your power that of what you did good for yourself was somebody else's, somebody else's fault, I guess. Hold on. And then vice versa, if you did something good, bad, then it's Satan's fault. Did something good, it's Jesus' fault. And so it's in my opinion, it's very archaic. In my opinion, worshiping any higher power is very archaic. And so this last night it came to a head where I saw how I've been around recruitment and conversion. And I don't like that. That's why I said to people, that's why I've been saying the last couple months, stop trying to sell J juice, stop trying to convert, drop seeds and run, but don't try to convert anybody. I don't want anyone in my group trying to, be the answer man and be the deity. I'm not trying to create a guru or create a major following and then exploit the people that I'm around. No, I don't. When I see someone that acts like they're so compassionate and so love, and so patient, let me tell you, the meaning that they're trying to find angles to convert you. Because I'm telling you, when I feel something, when I feel there is this energy, at first I'll take on like, oh, I'll be patient, I'll be compassionate, I'll be kind, I'll be this, I'll be that. But then, and I know that I'm being manipulative when I'm doing that. I know I'm trying to find an angle. And so when you realize that's what you're doing, like I realized that, I put a stop to that immediately. I said, okay, I realized how much energy I'm giving this, but I had to figure out first what was going on as far as the religious world and people in the religious world. And then I realized that I was trying to convert. Because as soon as you drop seeds and then you are in constant communication with someone who thinks completely opposite of you, and as far as politics, religion, and science, and you are dancing with each other, trying to act like we're trying to be polite, but in reality, we're trying to convert each other, then I'm like, oh shit, I'm being just as manipulative as they are. I gotta stop this. And so that's when I said I'm unfollowing anyone that drops scripture. I'm unfollowing anyone that proposes to be a demigod in politics, religion, science, any kind of ascension, higher power, whatever. Anyone that comes from the love, and the hate, two sides of the same coin, debate, annihilate, all that stuff, I'm unfollowing. I can't deal with the energy. And so I recognized what was going on and I stopped it. Now, the other person didn't recognize what's going on. Even though I put my point of view out there in my group and all over my Facebook and everything, when someone has to defend their own belief system, okay? When someone has to defend their own belief system, even though we have a common ground of the JJ, but they're trying to defend their own belief system relative to what I'm saying, then they're trying to convert. I know it's difficult when it's like when I have something in common with my husband and to stay alive, and we don't always agree on everything, and there's certain things that it's either my way or his way. We take turns, my way or his way, because we're both in a business love contract and we're trying to keep the peace. And I have more invested in him and he has more invested in me, that we made that commitment to do that. Strangers on Facebook, I don't have that commitment to allow you to then go and inflict your religion, your politics, your scientific dogmas in my group. And so when I realized that is what's going on, and the other person would still keep trying to convert and then put on their wall, well, you can only drop seeds. Not everybody's ready for the message, and when they're not ready for the message, you can only drop seeds. then I knew that that person was actually trying to convert. They weren't truly understanding the JJ mentality. And I could tell because they were so happy with all the relief they got from all of their pain, which is great, but that's not the point of the JJs. Testimonies are saying that you are okay with feeling pain because you know you must during the process of evolution, but not to feel so much joy that you don't feel pain. And that's the the lack of evolution already to begin with. This virus is evolving people exponentially. Those that have not been allowed to evolve up to the level of a certain point have to go through a very painful process of which not everyone is going to make it, and they will use J juice to cure themselves. I already see it. And so when I kind of knew that the person was really trying to convert, they weren't trying to evolve. I know they're going to use J juice as a cure, and maybe I could be wrong, but there's no way for me to know the future. I can't predict what someone's going to do or how they're going to react in the future. I can only look at what goes on today. And if what goes on today, if I'm not evolving with someone simultaneously, and it means that even if I have an idea that's different than somebody else, whether it's politics, religion, and science, they know it's my group. They know it's my page. They know it's my whatever. And they just keep their shit to themselves. They keep all of their posts neutral. And they're not glomming on to me, just responding. And I was doing that. And the reason, and I'm analyzing my own behavior because what was I attracted to? I really wanted to understand the person. I mean, I like the person, but I don't think that we can relate on Facebook the way we intend to, because I'm taking my group in a very specific direction. And I don't want to be held back by politics, religion, and science. I don't want to be held back by the dogmas of the people who uphold very entrenched politics, religion, and science, because I know there are texts and there are doctrines and there are belief systems that are very archaic, and I'm trying to evolve from that. I'm writing my own, what I think the future should be. I'll acknowledge the past, but I'm paving something for the future. I'm not trying to loop back in the past. And that's the thing. It's not that I have intolerance for the person. It's just that I don't think we're on the same page. You know, you can do jilly juice up to a certain point, but when you celebrate being in a cured state, and I can tell those because they'll post their testimonies in the group and say, "Oh my God, I feel great. I'm cured. I don't have any more of the pain." And that actually, I could, and they haven't been following me getting off the J juice or using J juice as a cure, and that's not the point. Because my evolution is based upon getting off the J juice and not using it as a cure. I deal with the pain. I watched that movie, The Other Life. Well, it's the Netflix show, The Other Life. And it shows the Ukiah, the alien race, that it's an intelligence that was terrorizing and trying to overtake the human and the planet Earth. And there are all these different points of light. And when I was in so much pain from a muscle spasm a couple months back, I was in so much pain, I saw points of light. It was almost no different than seeing that science fiction depiction of the aliens that were really just these points of light of intelligence, like energy intelligence. And so pain is consciousness. That's the difference between those that are not as evolved and those that are evolved. Those that are evolved deal with the pain and they don't get scared of it. They just know it's something they must go through and they welcome it. And they know there's going to be equilibrium at some point. And so what's the difference with humanity and beasts is the fact that beast tries to quell the pain. Humanity, part divinity, has different levels of facing the pain. And so I've been facing the pain of the evolution of the virus. I've been facing the pain of the evolution of myself in this world and how I conduct myself, with rolling out the jilly juice, with trying to substantiate salt and, immortality, indefinite life, regrowing limbs and organs, dealing with my government, dealing with the world, dealing with those that were just lobbing grenades at me when I was on Dr. Phil and other places. Okay, so I've been facing the pain. And guess what? You have a whole different level of consciousness. Those that are so happy that they're in a cured state, I'm in a cured state. I knew they weren't going to evolve because every single time they would feel pain, they're going to take J juice to quell it. And then they're going to age and die. And that's not the point of the JJ. The point of the JJ is to be a catalyst to evolution, to feel the pain that's going to come up because you have predispositions and you have viruses that you have quelled with other cures in the medical holistic system. And so the whole point of the J juice is to be a catalyst to evolution, release those viral demons that are sending glitchy messages, and then you regenerate with all the food in the food supply. And you get off the JJ at some point. The JJ at some point, yeah, you have a high sodium diet. You're eating meat, milk, cheese, eggs, fruits and vegetables, carbs and fats and whatever. And you deal with feeling constipated. You deal with feeling bloating. You deal with feeling everything that you have to feel. And in the middle of the night, like I was last night, I was purging. I was purging out the trauma of dealing with people who I thought were really trying to be. I was purging the trauma of people who I thought were authentically understanding the JJ. But no, their whole intention was to convert and drop seeds because they want to convert people in my group, as well as myself, into their religious organization, a 501c3, and then say that they're painting themselves different than everybody else. And so this is where I say I get the bigger picture. And so I felt completely used. I felt gullible. I gave them information. I provided them information. I wasn't trying to be converted into any religion. I wasn't trying to take on somebody else's political dogma. I was completely honest and saying, I don't want to be Jehovah's Witness. I don't want to be Christian. I don't want to be Catholic. I don't want to be Jewish. I want to be autonomous and drop seeds of physics of life. But the other person was not honest. They weren't saying exactly what they were trying to do. They just kept placating and mollifying me by, oh, you're still learning, Jillian. I appreciate your pit bullness. I appreciate all the information, but you're still learning. As if I'm some fucking child that they are trying to teach, that I gave them no license, no permission to do that, but yet they took it upon themselves to do that. And then it confirmed it when they're like, oh yeah, when someone has a message not ready to receive, and I've used that too. That's why I'm so disgusted with myself in the conversion process, because I didn't know anything but recruitment and conversion, because that's riff in the religious, in the politics, and in the science field. And when I saw that's what I was doing, I was disgusted with myself. And I said, I'm not going to do that to anyone. I'm going to put down the information, the thermodynamics and the physics laws of life and the physics laws of death. I'm not going to call it Satan. I'm not going to call it Jesus. I'm not going to put any kind of deity on it. And I'm going to correct the record. I'm going to set the record straight. I am not a deity. I'm not trying to, be a god. And if anything happens to me, accident or otherwise, no one should be deifying me and putting me as a statue of indefinite life and the advancement of mankind. And then someone's going to take what I've said and spin it. And that, no, I'm staying alive means that you're not allowing someone to speak for you, which is what's going on in the religious and the politic and the scientific world, is they're taking martyrs of the past and speaking for them, and then promoting an agenda and filtering their agenda through then all these different texts, assuming that they know what this person was trying to say. And that's why I don't like religion. That's why I don't like all the dogmas in the scientific, in the political world, because they're taking people of the past and subverting their intentions and using them as tools for the world to then control. Potentially edify, but people get stuck. They get stuck in a cured state. They get stuck in a relief, which is those types of arts, medium art. It's the art where there's a background that is like it's one medium, and then you have then all the scenes that are then a different medium, And so relief is being in a cured state. And people stay stuck in relief. They stay stuck in the cures. They stay stuck in their religion. They stay stuck in their politics and their scientific dogmas. And that's not the JJ mentality. So I even recognized my shortcomings and how I rolled out JJ. And then I realized who I was attracting. All the religious folk. That makes sense. I had the Yah people. I had the Catholics, the Christians, the born again Christians. I had them all because salt was used to cure people in a very specific dogmatic state. And it was a method of control. And it was relief for people who were in pain that didn't want to evolve because they didn't realize that pain was evolution. And then you have a lack of consciousness, lack of awareness. When you're constantly being cured, constantly taking out organs, constantly taking your pills and your powders and your supplements, your detoxes, and doing waterfalls on the J juice, you will be like what happened in antiquity, where you had the warring factions that were all in their cured state. They never understood evolution or how to merge together and unify. And this is how people were controlled. And yeah. And so I get it. And so that's why I've been the last couple of weeks just going toe to toe with some very aggressive religious folk. Very aggressive. And I didn't realize how aggressive. And when people say they love you, they don't love you. They want to manipulate the fuck out of you. So do not allow someone that says they love you, that doesn't even know you. And even if they know you, if you're not in some kind of contractual relationship, like a love contract, my husband is the only one that can say he loves me. And I know he means it. You know why? Because we're both in a love contract and in a business contract. We're keeping each other alive in some way, shape, or form. Anyone else out there, if you say you love me, you're fucking trying to manipulate me. Don't be using that. And if you say you hate me, you're trying to manipulate me through control. It's respect. I will respect you until you give me a reason not to. You should respect me until I give you a reason not to. And if I've given you a reason that you shouldn't respect me, then do not hang out with me. Do not follow me. Do not pretend like you are in my corner and then try to convert me and tell me you love me. That's some bull fuck. And then I hate that. That's why love and hate is all about manipulation. It is about Jesus versus Satan. It's a method of control. And it's in the Bible. Love is patience. Love is kind. Love is bending over freaking backwards and allowing someone to exploit you. I am not anyone's disciple. I don't care who you are. And I don't want disciples either. I want autonomous people that will show what it's like to be a Jilly Juice person living indefinitely. That they are taking part in the neoclassical type of stuff, arts, literature, doing things that are helping humanity, making inventions. Yeah, they put that they were the Jilly Juice mentality. They put somewhere that they are a Jilly Juice follower on some level, but that's not the only part of their life. Their life is about promoting humanity. If you want to change humanity, and you're all about the Bible, then write a new Bible. Don't leave it for somebody else to write. When I said, okay, I think in your future, if you want to change humanity, maybe you should write a new Bible. They're like, nope, that's not in my cards. Someone else is going to write the Bible. Who the hell is going to write the Bible, another Bible? If it's not you, you have a background in all this religious text. It would take a person who understands the Bible to rewrite it based upon the future of humanity. Oh, no, it's all about somebody else's responsibility to go and change the world, not mine. You want to loop, okay, fine. But I want people in the world of the JJ world to show how they are not in a cured state 100% of the time, that they are evolving, but they're also balancing evolution and innovation without succumbing to one or the other. Because when you're constantly evolving, you're in pain all the time. That sucks. And then people die because they can't handle the constant evolution. When you're in a cured state all the time, you're not evolving. So you must be evolving and cured and also be innovative. And when you are evolving, you will have the innovation. And when you have those spurts of innovation, you go and capitalize on it. Sometimes you have to be in a cured state for a certain amount of time so you can get that information out to a group of people if you have to go travel somewhere. Then you go and evolve when you get home. There is a way to manage innovation, evolution, and being in a cured state. Okay? And that's what I want to see my Jilly Juice Jilly Juice crowd to learn how to juggle those three areas: innovation, evolution, and being cured. And they all can happen simultaneously at different points in time relative to what your intention is for that day, that week, that month, that year. And you still maintain existence. You're not proselytizing. Okay. And I know I try to promote that because I'm like, well, why is people talking about it? But I don't even know how people should represent the JJs. I don't think I knew it was the same thing in politics, religion, and science. You shove it down people's throats. Well, fuck. That obviously doesn't work. Because it doesn't work on me when it comes to being converted into a religion. So that's not going to work on someone else when I'm trying to convert them into their religious religion. No, this is not a religion. This is about promoting life through the physics, understanding physics and biology, and the sociological, social engineering, and bioengineering, and how they're all working together. And if you want to devolve, fine, you have choices. If you want to evolve, you have choices. But some people don't know they have choices, and so they devolve. And so my job is to say, okay, you say you want to live. Well, this is the physics and laws of life, the physics and laws of death. You make the choice, and you can't blame a pro-vaxxer, an anti-vaxxer. You can't blame a doctor. You can't blame a nurse. You can't blame Jilly Juice. You can't blame anyone. You can only blame yourself. Personal accountability does not belong in the politics, religion, and science world. The politics, religion, and science was all about blaming Satan and blaming Jesus for whatever ails you. And then who you have put in the face as Jesus as Satan. And it could be anyone that someone told you to go and demonize or go and worship. That doesn't belong in the JJ world. So that's why I realize a lot of things. All right, I'm going bye.